Well, that's not good. I just started feeling a slight vibration because this is the exact same failure that happened on the other scooter that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Hey guys, welcome to the first video here on the Scoots Made Simple YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at GoTrax's cheapest or least expensive electric scooter here on the market, coming in under $200 in terms of retail price point, the XR Lite. Now you might be wondering why I have this one currently set up, and I do have a brand new one here in the box. And well, we're gonna get to that a little bit later in this video where I tell you my experience actually riding and using the scooter on a daily basis. But in this video, I wanna quickly unbox this one, put it together, show you just how easy and simple it is to assemble one of these modern electric scooters. And of course, we'll get into riding it, taking a look at all the features and specs and everything like that, and give you my overall impression. So without further ado, let's not waste time and get to unboxing and setting up this electric scooter. Now quickly, I do want to disclose that these scooters were provided via the Best Buy Tech Insider Review program, so I'm not being compensated in any way by Best Buy or GoTrax. They simply sent out the scooters for me to review via that program, but I'm also going to be using these here to create this YouTube review and give you my overall impressions of GoTrax's latest and least expensive scooter. So quickly taking a look at the box itself as well as the completed scooter over here. This is going to be a very compact and fairly lightweight electric option, pretty much as cheap and as light as you can get reliably here on the e-scooter market. Now here is the box itself, 200 watt motor, 12 mile/hour max speed. It says 6.5-inch air-filled tires, but as far as I can tell, these are actually solid rubber tires. Okay, so I want to quickly interrupt here because I actually have both boxes for both of the XR Lites that I've received. And here on this side of the box, some of the information appears to correct itself from the front, main design, but other stuff conflicts itself. So 220 max weight, that checks out, 36 volt, 200 watt electric motor, 5-hour charge time. That all seems to make sense. 5 mile of distance, that also may check out to be roughly the actual distance. But under brakes, front mechanical brake plus rear disc. There's no disc brake on this, particular scooter, so not sure where that came from. And then it says 6.5 solid tire, which I believe to be accurate. I believe this is a solid tire with a 12 mile/hour max speed. That does check out. But then once again, you go over here to the side, 6.5-inch air-filled tires. That does not make sense. So there's conflicting information depending on which side of the box you look at. It says UL certified 13 and plus in terms of age and rider usability. And then opening the box itself, it comes pretty nicely packaged. You can see your user manual, XR Lite folding e-scooter right there. Has some warranty and stop, don't return to store right there. And then on the right side, it does come with your charger, which is a fairly basic, wall outlet to a little round plug right there. And then the handlebars will come separated from the actual scooter frame itself. It does also come with the Allen wrench, which you will need to, install the handlebar. Handlebar simply lifts out, styrofoam insert. Put that aside. And then here you can see the handlebar by itself, which also has the LCD screen and all of the physical controls. And then the scooter comes simply laying down inside of the package, just like that. Go ahead and slide that out of the way. Take the scooter out of the box right there. There is a little pin that you simply lift up to actually fold the scooter back up. Clicks and locks into place just like that. And then basically you remove this cap at the very top via the 2 Allen screws via the provided wrench. This plug actually comes out of the scooter frame itself. You'll insert the handlebars down and then of course screw the latching mechanism back into place. As you can see, plug comes out, basically tells you what to do right on the label itself. There's pins up here for the battery and the communication within the electric scooter. And you basically just take the handles, controls facing you to the back, slide it down, line up the two holes. It is a little bit of a compression fit, but not too bad. Insert the handle and the hook mechanism facing, I guess, up or down, depending on how you want to look at it. And that is all there is to it. That is simply done, installed. Unwrap the rest of the scooter down here. Then you can go ahead and start charging it up for your first use. They do recommend that you charge it to 100% using the wall connector before your first use. Just like most battery electronics out there, probably helps calibrate the BMS, or the battery management system. Here's your wall outlet. Has a little red and green LED down the corner. It is a fairly cheap and basic, two-prong wall outlet. It is a 1.5 amp, 0.9 amp output, roughly 38 volt output, IP20, really just basic stuff with a little barrel round connector at the other end. But essentially you have a little mini kickstand down here at the bottom, a little rubberized deck, a plastic brake, which I believe actually, is meant to be used as a brake given it has those ridges, but it also does accommodate the lock when folding the handlebars that will lock into that little red tab there, as well as up here towards the top. There's a little pin which is used for releasing it, and then you actually pull the lever and it will actually collapse and fold down flat. Little tiny wheel fender up front here. But speaking of the actual tires, these are pretty much solid rubberized plastic tires. As far as I can tell, there is no air to be had inside them, so I'm not sure why the box says air-filled tires, but really, I don't think those are. You have GoTrax branding here on the stem, little LED light up top, which can be seen when you actually peel the film back just like that. You can see a little tiny LED projector right there. Rubberized handles. You do have a regenerative brake right here, and this is going to be your throttle. Does have cruise control, so if you simply hold that down for about 10 seconds, it will beep at you and then automatically, hold the speed that you're currently traveling at. And then the display is going to be this small area right here, very basic in design. Power buttons right there, charge ports up top as well. And that pretty much concludes a tour of this scooter in and of itself. Little reflective tabs on the side, obviously for safety. So you joined me here to test out the scooter in a very well-paved and smooth concrete parking lot. And the reason I'm doing that here is because while it's a very smooth surface, which is really where this scooter excels at, and the main areas where you want to ride it, but also it does have a few small changes in elevation, which is actually a pretty good test for the overall output and 200-watt motor that this scooter does have. Now I will go ahead and also test the scooter out on a normal paved sidewalk with the normal joints in between each section. That's about as far as I would take the scooter in terms of riding it over non-smooth pavement, is a normal well-paved sidewalk. Outside of that, the scooter really is outside of its use case, where you have big potholes or any other major imperfections in concrete or asphalt, anything like that. But anyways, going ahead and jumping it on, the scooter's already on. Simply press and hold the power button for just a couple seconds, it turns on. The light is on as well. If you want to turn the light off, simply press the power button one more time. And cruise control activates after 10 seconds of holding the throttle down, which is on your right. And then of course on the left, we do have the brake, which uses the front motor to actually, slow the scooter down, probably running it in reverse or just using maximum regen. But we do have to kick off to about 2 miles an hour and the scooter simply goes. And we're already cruising at 12 miles an hour. I simply just kind of want to ride around the parking lot here, give you my overall impressions of the scooter. As you could hear, it probably beeped. That means cruise control is enabled. My first impressions riding around the parking lot is, well, it's, a very, somewhat harsh ride just due to the solid wheels that this particular one does have. If it did have pneumatic tires, it would be a much smoother of a ride. The handlebars, of course, are very close together, meaning that you don't want to make any sudden movements with the actual, turning of the scooter. Otherwise, you might, upset yourself and actually fall off the thing if you're not used to riding one. But as a whole, it's a very easy riding experience, just ride around the parking lot. But in terms of, overall elevation change, as you can see, we're going up this hill full throttle, and the scooter does start to slow down. We're maintaining about 10.5 miles an hour outside of the maximum 12. So it does an okay job doing, a very, very slight slope of probably just a couple percentage, in terms of elevation change or steepness. But riding around on flat, smooth surfaces just like this parking lot, the scooter does fine. Of course, it's limited to 12 miles an hour, so don't expect to go very fast and don't expect to go very far because we've already lost 25% of the actual battery, according to the indicator on the scooter handlebars. But throttle response is pretty good. You do have to go a minimum of about 2 miles an hour for the motor to actually start moving and kick in. So you do have to either push off the scooter or just already be traveling at a speed if you do take it off cruise control and want to use the manual throttle input. In terms of braking, we'll go ahead and test it on this joint here. That was a 12 mile an hour to stop, and that was right at 2 and just over 2 full normal size parking spots. If you're just using the normal brake, of course, there is this plastic foot brake on the back of the scooter. If you want to use that in conjunction with the regenerative braking, I would highly recommend mainly using the regenerative braking. But kicking off there, you can see the front wheel does slip just a little bit once you apply that initial throttle application. But once it's up and going, it's a pretty smooth ride here on a very smooth parking lot. It's kind of fun to ride. It is very, very slow in terms of, an electric scooter. And with, only roughly a 5 mile an hour range or so, I would not expect to go very far or use it, out on normal commuting situations. And if you do want to use it on normal commutes, make sure to have a charger with you. Say if you want to charge it at work or whatnot, that is probably something that you'll want to keep with you in your bag. Or at your final location traveling to and from work, from your house or apartment complex, anything like that. Well, that's not good. So I just started feeling a slight vibration, and well, yeah, this is going to be, I guess, my raw reaction to this, because this is the exact same failure that happened on the other scooter that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. The rear tire has just gone ahead and actually started separating from the actual plastic wheel once again. So yeah, identical failures. I mean, you really cannot make this stuff up. So at this point, it's for sure a manufacturing defect. And hopefully you guys can see that on camera, but yep, the vibration's back. The solid wheel has totally separated from the actual tire itself. You can see this one's actually a little bit worse, if anything, in that it's completely coming away. But yeah, I would say at this point the tire is, or the scooter itself is pretty much unrideable at this point. I mean, you can ride it with a vibration, but I would not recommend it due to safety reasons. But yeah, I guess that's gonna conclude. I got, I don't even know if I have 1 mile on the scooter, and the rear tire actually already failed on it. So, wow. Yeah, was not expecting that. I thought the other one was gonna be a fluke, but it looks like, nope, it is a design flaw and a, real issue with these scooters. But it still does work, but it's vibrating and making a lot of noise back there and does not feel necessarily the safest. So, yeah. Well, I guess that's going to conclude my review of the GoTrax XR Lite scooter for you guys. Unfortunately, I only got about 1 mile on the thing before the tire did come off the wheel, just like the other one did. So I would say if you're looking at buying this or purchasing the scooter, I would probably not recommend it, and I would go with either another brand or one of their more expensive models with the standard pneumatic tires. Probably just due to the fact that the solid rubber does not hold up and is not durable enough really to use on, even smooth concrete parking lots just like this one. So I think with all that being said, that is going to do it here for my very first review here on the channel, in this case, the GoTrax XR Lite. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and or found something helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button below. Share this with anybody else that might be interested in the $200 price point of electric scooters, in this case, the GoTrax XR Lite. and leave any comments and suggestions that you want me to tweak here in these reviews, or how they are formatted overall. Of course, hopefully we can branch out, do e-bikes, other electric scooters, other types of personal transportation devices with motors. I love that, and that's the overall goal of this channel. And of course, if you guys are familiar with the other Made Simple channel, Cars Made Simple, that's of course where I get the behind the wheel of regular automotive devices and cars in general, and actually give you my thoughts and opinions on those. So totally different product category, but I am very, very fascinated with what these devices have to offer, and there is much more to come, hopefully in the very near future here on this channel. But if you are a manufacturer watching this and want to send out a product for me to evaluate, feel free to reach out into the contact email in the about section of this channel, and see what we can do in partnership together. So I want to provide honest, unbiased reviews, and I believe I did a very good job here with the XR Lite, even though this scooter was provided for me via a different review program. I wanted to share my thoughts on this because it is a brand new product to the market. But anyways, let me know all of your feedback and comments down below. As always, subscribe if you guys haven't already. And as always, I appreciate the support here on the channel, and hope to see you guys in the next one.